this thing on? You are on YouTube. My name is Kevin Nolte, aka Naltz, or Uncle Naltz, here on the latter channel. Departing from my typical format for a moment, to pay regard to my cousin, Morgan, and his family, who lost their 12-year-old daughter, Abby Nolte, in an accident on an off-road vehicle on Saturday. No need to comment below. I just wanted to share that, and if any of them are watching the videos, to let you know how much I wish I was in New Orleans right now to be with you guys, and couldn't find a practical way to do that. So instead, I hope to come down and be with you after this whole, funeral period is over. Changing notes dramatically, because it's hard for me to even talk or think about that. YouTube past and present. So when I got on YouTube years ago, YouTube was sort of dominated by a few people. I was sort of transfixed with this notion that, you'd have somebody on YouTube and there was somebody else doing parodies of that person. Wait a minute, that you're doing a parody of Emelina. Who's Emelina? Oh, she's not a star. She's a YouTube star. What? Huh? So I spent like 9 months posting, nobody cared. But then eventually stumbled into the community and was visited by three of the ghosts of my YouTube past, if you will. Pipistrello, who happened to be in the area from Puerto Rico, used to live near me and was the first guy I collaborated with. Pipistrello was in the area. I caught it on Foursquare Twitter, and we were able to hang out. Today I got on the phone for 3 hours with Renetto, who at the time I joined YouTube was like the Shane Dawson or Sexy Phil of today. And then spent a good bit of time the other day talking to Terry, Zipster08. Maybe you've seen a couple of his videos recently where he telecasts some of that conversation, which it cracks me up, because I was totally, even though he told me he's recording, I just was totally myself and didn't care what I was saying. Now I'm going to have to go look at the third video and see what I've stuck myself into. But anyway, Zipster's like Zipster. He's Zipster. He's like the guy, he's like the son of YouTube that our planets orbited around, and I was barely a moon. I've said that before. So now let's turn to something interesting here. I don't know why I got on that, but I think it's because I sort of longed for that period, and which probably is why I'm interested in the following topic. So I think that the phone is a sort of new vehicle, the smaller pond, if you will, the less crowded space. And so I'm very intrigued with video on the phone. But what's the problem? Well, for the most part, until recently, you didn't have a smartphone. If you did, you couldn't get a bandwidth. I mean, terrible signal, terrible experience. That's starting to be solved. But the interface still blows. And let's get real for a second. Here is the most popular video sharing site on one of the most popular phones, the YouTube app or the YouTube mobile. They're equally horrific. The YouTube app that comes sort of baked into iTunes is okay, but I've talked to people at YouTube that have told me that they don't prioritize that one because it's not how most of the videos are viewed. Makes sense. Then you go to YouTube mobile. Oh yeah, let's have a go with that. It's equally sucky, except it loads slowly. So along comes Renetto, Paul Robinette, an entrepreneur, once from the Midwest, and I don't even remember where he lives now, and creates, and I'm not being compensated, nor do I have any financial interest in, the worst named app ever. He might as well have called it My YouTube, which is supposed to be memorable. It's like my YouTube, right? Nobody gets that, Paul. But after the phone and the address book and the calendar, and maybe Angry Birds and Plants vs. Zombies, it's my absolute favorite app. And it's one that I would not give up easily. In fact, I told him I'd probably pay $100 for this thing. Now, I think that like 100-ish thousand people have paid for the app. I don't know if it's $1 or $2, but either way, that's a pretty big deal. And he doesn't know. I guess you don't know how many people download your app for free. iTunes doesn't tell you that. So let's just imagine, I don't know how many, let's say, I don't know, he doesn't even know how to guess. But let's just pick a number. Say 100 some odd people, 100 some odd thousand bought it, maybe 5, 10 times that, use it, the free one. I think you get more features if you buy it, and the other one, I don't know. But here's what's perplexing me, is I said, well, why don't you market this thing? And he said, Kevin, you know that if you want to have an article written about your app, a lot of those people charge for that, which to me is borderline unethical. Like, if you're writing an article about the top 10 apps, I would like to believe that you're doing so on the merit of the app and not because you slept with the PR person for the app company, or your brother-in-law knows Michael Arrington, or your cousin's hairdresser slept with the Engadget writer. Honestly, I'm starting to think that there's this whole like inbred society around what apps make it and what don't. And I don't have any other apps that I can use as an example. Maybe you do. I tend to follow the herd. Oh, look, this one's ranked high on iTunes. It must be good. And I end up with crap, disposable apps. Then if you search for YouTube, you get crap apps. But I think somewhere in there, like number 10 or 20, is my UTB. Now, don't be fooled by its name. It allows you to follow specific YouTubers you like, you want to watch a lot of. You can go into their videos. You can find how many they've done. You can just dial right in to, here's Barely Political, here's the last videos. I can comment. As a matter of fact, try it out. I'm not getting compensated for this, but try it out. And if you comment, it optionally watermarks your comment with the name, my UTB. So I promise I'll respond to every video with that watermark, even if you fake it. But it allows you to comment. It allows you to talk to the person you're watching. It allows you to for them to talk back to you. And it basically fulfills a lot of things that suck otherwise on the phones. And so you go to Japan, you go to Finland, people are using the phone all the time. You've been doing it for years. They got to live in video. Why do we not have a better experience? Why is this not being recommended by all the tech magazines and on the top lists, especially if it's doing so well? And my only answer could be conspiracy theory. And I say that only happened just because here's the thing. iTunes, Mac, Apple, has a disincentive, if you will, to encourage, natural and playful and easy interface with YouTube. They're competitors. It doesn't explain Droid, why Droid wouldn't sort of buy this stupid thing and bake it into Droid. It's perplexing why. Well, I mean, the only explanation I've heard out of YouTube people is that they're not seeing enough usage out of the thing to justify a lot of special development. So it's sort of this catch-22. So Paul develops this app, puts it out there. Why isn't everybody using it? That's what I don't get. I mean, I can understand if you've never heard of it, but if you've ever tried it out, it's indispensable unless you're the type of grazer of YouTube that you just take an occasional video. If you actually want to dig in and get to know some people and follow them, whether they're vloggers or, performers or singers or whatever, I would think that you'd want the ability to subscribe via phone, which is nearly impossible. You go into YouTube on your Droid, on your Blackberry, on your Palm Pre, on your iPhone, and try to tell me the most recent video that one of your favorite creators has posted. You won't find it. There's no way to sort, at least easily, or that I can figure out. But this thing will give you a little number. It'll tell you how many videos you missed, and all this stuff that to me is so no-brainer that should come. So Paul's got to do it on his own with his own money. Hopefully he's made it back multiple times. But I can't understand why more people are using this. So again, I've got only one theory, which is conspiracy theory. If you have another one, I'd love to read about it. If you've used the thing, let me know your best explanation. Why isn't everybody else using it? If you haven't, try it out and tell me if you think it blows. Because I would almost like everybody to say, Kevin, you may like it, but nobody else does. That would make sense to me. But to me, it's like this is the best example I can give. I feel like if 5 years ago, you were the only one that was using Google of 2010, and everyone else was like, nope, quite happy here using our Internet Explorer, surfing Alta Vista, yay.